You see, that kind of experience, I'm going to share another story with you. And that kind of experience are the sort of things that help you, that I call them life's lessons. You have to learn them. Life is saying to me, if you want something, you must persevere.
Mm.
Even if you fail, if you're trying to achieve something and you don't get it the first time, even the 100th time, keep going.
Mm.
You see, nobody has the experience you have in the 100 times that you've tried to do it.
Wow.
It's a collection of experiences.
Mm-hmm.
I collected experiences 4 times. I didn't even realize I was rich in experience.
Mm.
And you're always better off than somebody who does it just once and goes through. So they don't have that endurance. It's the endurance, it's the perseverance. So when he told me that, my mind shifted. It was a mind, like a light bulb, like all those things that they say. And I said to myself, I said, you know what? Let me go back to the drawing board and see what I can do about this driving thing. So I go back to the drawing board and I'm bringing out maps. You see, things I had never done before. I started doing them. I brought out maps. I brought out whatever it was I needed to do. Physically, I started studying the roads. And then I know this is not legal, but I would take the car to a very quiet area around the corner of our house, not too far. I was practicing my reverse parking and this and that. And then on the day of the exam, when it came my practical test, the 5th time, and there were all kinds of things happening on the road that day. There was a pedestrian I wanted to cross. There was a man that was shouting at me, all sort of things. And then we got to the driving center. And I was just waiting this was my stance that day. I was like this, I was waiting for the examiner to say, oh, you know what, you failed. I'm like, yeah, just tell me I've focused. I'm booking my 6th one. I've been told already, you keep going. Even if it's 100 times you do it. So it was a mindset shift. And the guy turned to me and he looked at me and he said, congratulations, you've passed. And I was like, what? Is that all it took? It took me to bring out my map. It took me to study the routes. It took me to do a little bit of practicing. That's it. That's it. And that's life. And that's life. When I was in uni, I was in my first year and I got my results and I didn't like what I was seeing. So I went to a guardian in school. This was in university now. I studied law. That's my background. And it used to be 5 years. I think it's still 5 years. This was in Nigeria. And I said to the man, I said, look at my grades. And he told me, said, you know what? You see the way you're going to end up with a pass or 3rd class at best. I was like, what did you say? I'm doing law with pass or 3rd class. What do I want to do with that? So I had to wake up. Again, that was a mindset shift to get serious and to learn this thing called focus. The driver taught me perseverance. This guardian in school taught me focus. When you're going on to something and you're trying to achieve something, you have to learn how to tune in, how to lean in, how to stay focused. And so I started studying. I started reading. In my 2nd year, things improved. And we talk about this thing called daily choices. So I started studying more. I started having my reading habits. I started realizing that I love to read around 4 p.m. when the sun was down and I had rested. And I also learned around that time as well that I couldn't read beyond 1 a.m. at night. That was what I learned. So I started studying myself. I started learning. In my 2nd year, things improved a bit. I went from the D's or God knows whatever it is I was getting to, C's and maybe a few B's. But then from my 3rd year, I started getting A's and B's in my 4th and my 5th year. In fact, if I would expect any results, I was always expecting an A, at the worst, a B. And I ended up graduating with a 2nd class upper. The call was that conversation I had in my 1st year. If I didn't have that conversation to learn how to lean in and focus, when you want something in life, you can't be distracted. You can't afford to be distracted by human beings, by things that don't make sense. Because I was very social, and I still am, in school, and I was part of this club and all those things were fun things. But then I realized, listen, they these things are only here, but I'm here on a mission and I have to stay focused on my mission. So when I got into law school, I was made the director of sports and socials. And our president at the time was saying to us, oh, we have to achieve this and achieve that. And I called his attention and I said, listen, let me tell you one thing. In law school, you only have 9 months. At the end of 9 months, you either pass and get into the bar or you fail. It's good to do all of these things you're suggesting, but we only have 9 months of focused studies. I learned that from that lecturer. If I didn't learn that, I would have come into law school doing things that I thought were, they're kind of socially important, but they're not. That's not the reason why you're there. I've learned in life that you have to identify what that thing is in your life, in that problem you're trying to solve. What is the one thing that if you focused on that thing and you did that thing, it will change stuff for you? So the first thing, Ejiro, was life's lessons. My mindset changed, learning perseverance, learning focus. As I grew older, I started learning things like goals, dreams, aspirations. There were the things that I understood that if you don't pursue your goals, if you don't have goals, you're going to be aimless. You will go from here to there. So it's always good to be guided. Your goals help you to navigate life. It tells you and gives you that direction. That's why I love goals. You see, the thing about goals is that you don't always have to hit your goals. It gives you that sense of purpose and direction. So you might say, okay, I want to do something in 3 months. In 3 months, like I want to lose weight. I want to be, I don't know, I want to be, maybe 10 kg off or 20 kg off. You might not be that on the dot, but it's done one thing. It's going to help you create those habits now. Because for you to get to that goal, you have to learn new habits. So it's going to help you to begin to adopt new habits to lead you towards that thing that you want. That's the main essence of a goal, is who you become in the process. It's not necessarily the thing that you get. When you get that thing, it's satisfying as well, but it's not as satisfying as now I'm somebody who is more focused. Now I'm somebody who is more disciplined. All those things are more lasting. So life's goals, life's dreams, desire, aspiration. I want to be someone who, is an entrepreneur who runs businesses and things like that. That's kind of how I focus. That's kind of, the thing that the goal, the dream has given me. And I've also learned, number 3, is to have this thing called self-awareness. Always be aware of who you are. Sometimes we lose sight of who we are, our blind spots. We don't kind of tune in to us. The first person on this earth you need to study. Don't study people, study yourself. Who are you? What makes you tick? What makes you, I don't know. What's the thing that drives you? What do you like? What don't you like? Who do you like to hang out with? What's your favorite color? Some people don't know. What you like, those sort of things. Know who you are. If you know who you are, you know what would, tickle your fancy. You know what, the things you don't like. You know the places. You know the things that strengthens you. You know your weaknesses. Know everything about yourself. Do a kind of SWOT analysis. Your strengths, your weaknesses. What are the opportunities? What are the things that are special to yourself that Ejiro has? Nobody else has, or she has a combination of those things. Ejiro is this kind of a person. She's that kind of a person. That's her uniqueness. Who are you? So that awareness drives you and helps you to become who you want to become.
Wow. Powerful points. Like, I had to write them down. I hope somebody is taking notes. I hope somebody is taking notes. You don't want to leave here and, not have these things jotted down, because they are powerful points. Wow, Ebube, this is amazing. This is amazing. Perseverance, focus, and self-awareness. Can somebody write these 3 points in the comment section if you're learning and if you're really feeling excited about this, right? Perseverance, focus, and self-awareness. This is amazing. Let me not take this spotlight away from you, because I really just want you to pour out your experience and everything you've got to us, so we can learn and become better versions, that by the time we leave this live conversation tonight, we will truly know where to begin from and how to begin to build ourselves to become that woman that we really want to be. So I just want you quickly, Ebube, give us 2 to 3 practical daily choices that every woman will need, every woman can start making immediately to change her life.
Yes. The first thing I would say is you have to go back to your life and look at the 5 areas: health, finances, spirituality. So this is in the order you want to do it. Write the 5 of them down: health, finances, spirituality, relationships, work, or career. Write them down and ask yourself one question. Of all these 5 areas, yeah, for most women, I kind of have an idea, but I don't want to preempt you because I have my own experience as well. But out of all these 5 areas, which one area brings the most pain? That's where your regret is. Which one brings the most challenge or challenges? Which one area? Then you can write the second area, but identify of the 5 areas: health, finances, relationships, spirituality, your work or your career. Which one gives you in fact, when you think about it, your heart sinks, you feel sad, you feel unsettled. That's where your pain is. Okay? Now you've identified that area, I'm assuming. The next thing you want to do is identify who can help me. Who can help me? So who can help me can be people like you, Ejiro. I don't know what the issue is. It can be in their career. It can be in their spirituality. If it's a spirituality, it can be, who can really help me? Who? You don't have to write one person. You can write more than one person. Well, just write down who. Because when we are trying to achieve anything in life, we need to go that distance or journey with the right people. Who can help me? It's not all of your issues that you discuss with everybody. For instance, you cannot take your financial issues and be discussing with your broke friends. They need help themselves. You cannot take your health issues and be talking about that with people who are health challenged themselves. You have to speak to an expert. Who is an expert? I'll tell you who an expert is. An expert is not somebody that has degrees or whatever. An expert is just somebody who has done that, been there, worn the t-shirts, and can show you, this is what I did, this is what you need to do. Finish. That's what an expert is. So an expert can be anybody. An expert can be somebody who is 10 years, 20 years younger than you. They can be older than you. They can be your mates. They can be anybody, but somebody who kind of shares the similar. They've been to where you want to get to. So that's what you need to do. And then once you've identified the who, the other things that you can do on a daily basis is take good books. I beg of us, we need to read. We need to listen to books. We need to listen to, if you're the audio kind of person, reading books is always very good as well. If you have physical kind of books and you can read, physically, that's good. One book I want to recommend today to yourselves is The Law of Compounding Effect. I think it's written by Darren Hardy. Darren is Dearren. Hardy, Hardy. The Law of Compounding Effects. Okay? So read not necessarily the whole book, but read at least a chapter. If you're too tired and too lazy, 1 page a day is okay. You'll get to finish that book in a year at least. But try and put in something here. Because the moment our minds begin to change, you can see that for me, the people who helped me when it was my journey of perseverance or focus had to do with human beings. And that's why you need the right kind of people, because when you talk to them, they give you the right ideas. They reset your mind. They help you to refocus, kind of like redirect your thoughts. Your thoughts is going that way. You're doing things that don't mean, no. We're meant to be going this way. Okay. So on a daily basis, try and read good books and try and speak to that person or those people. It can be a group on social media. It can be a friend. It can be somebody that you know, but try and be in touch with them on a daily basis. Sometimes you have these online mentors, there's so many good online mentors that are into personal development and things that, or the particular area you're trying to listen to. They might have podcasts, things like that. Tune into those as well. They're your friends. They might not know, but they are your friends. They, they might not know, but you're listening to them on a daily basis. You're reading good books on a daily basis. And one thing I want to add is that for a lot of moms, for a lot of women, for a lot of people that want to move forward, one good habit to have every day is having one spiritual habit and one healthy habit. One spiritual habit could be praying in the morning. The first thing you want to do is you wake up and you pray and you commit your day into God's hands. I'm a believer, so I would always start my day with praying because I know that I need help. I always need help and I need his direction as well. Even if you're not a believer, try and get into this place where you can do something with your mind on a daily basis, like you meditate or something. You come to a space where you have that clarity. So, Ejiro, I hope that helps. One, you identify the area you want to improve on so that you're not just, kind of going from one area. You can, attack them one by one, but start with the most painful, the most challenging area. And then you identify the who you want to, you want this person or those people to help you. There are people that have done it, they're an experts. They've been there before, they've done whatever it might be. And then you start from there. And on a daily basis, you're listening to podcasts on a daily basis. Okay, you're reading a good book on a daily basis as well. You're praying, you're doing something spiritual. Just one activity is okay for the day. You can do more. I do more. But if somebody is just starting, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. So you start from where you can start from and you do that on a daily basis. And then you also have, I would like to add this one healthy habit. Let me tell you something about health. The two, you see, out of those 5 things I mentioned, there are 2 of them that you must address and you must do on a daily basis because those are the things that keep you grounded. It's your health and your spirituality. You must do something positive in your health on a daily basis. It could be, today I drank 2 liters of water. I drank enough water. Tomorrow, I did a 30 minutes walk, or I've done a 30 minutes, whatever it might be. But take one habit, one good habit, and make sure you do that habit on a daily basis. Daily basis. Because if you're not healthy, how do you pursue any goal? Yeah, you have to be healthy. It's one of the things, we talked about awareness. I realized that about myself. Ebube, you have to be well. You have to be strong for this journey. Yes, everything is by God's grace, but he's giving us this body to live in, and we have to take care of it. Take care of yourself. Be strong so that you can get to where you want to get to. You can have the energy to do what you want to do. If you don't have energy, you don't have the willpower, you're not going to move an inch. And that health thing will keep on troubling you. So you must be in a space where you can move. And the way you can move is to take care of your health so that your health can take care of you. So make sure you have one healthy habit that you do on a daily basis. Personally, I like to train. When I'm not training, on days when it's very busy, I try to take a 30-minute walk and do some stretches and all whatnot. And that's sufficient for the day. I don't go to the gym, but if you can't do one thing. Yeah, do one thing that your body will thank you for. Your future self will thank you for. Will say, okay, thank you, Ejiro. You were doing the exercise. You were drinking the water. You were, brushing your teeth. You were flossing your teeth. All those good habits to have. One of the things I'm doing with my children now, I'm calling them one by one and I'm saying, guys, it's your turn this month. Which habits do you want us to introduce into the house? So the last one, my 4th child, she's 13. She said to me, Mommy, anytime, we bring, because the girls, they wash up the plates and all whatnot. The boy, he does want, once in a blue moon. But majorly it's the 2 girls in the middle that do it. And she was saying to me, when we bring our dishes to the sink, all the scraps and bones and tissues and all whatnot we've used should be put in the bin first, emptied well. So only empty plates go into the sink. And I put up my hands. I have that very bad habit of, in fact, my husband has told me about this. I'm like, okay, I put my plates there and I dash off. And my daughter was like, we have to change that habit of everybody should empty their plates. And since she said it, I've been doing it. So I'm kind of proud of myself. Like, okay, we have to listen and adapt habits in our homes and teach our children. Once you stay on top of your habits and you have good habits, guess what? You are making good choices. When you make good choices on a daily basis, you become that woman you want to become.
Oh my goodness. Ebube, this is so amazing. You become that woman you want to become if you stick to that your daily choice. Oh my God, guys, this is so exciting. I hope we've taken notes of the 5 points, the 3 major points, and she gave us a bonus one. Number 1, you have to first of all identify which one brings you the most pain. Who can help me? That's number 2. And this is where she introduced mentors. And it's true, mentors, not just anyone, but people that have done it and you see the result, people that have lived the life. So then also she talked about reading books, podcast, and all of that. That's self-development. You have to be intentional about developing ourselves. And then she gave us this bonus one, which is 1 healthy habit every day. Isn't this amazing? The last question will be, for someone who feels stuck right now, Ebube, where would you advise the person to start? I know you've touched on it here and there, but let's just have one concrete, this is it. You can just begin from here first, because, we have all this information and we just really want to narrow it down to that one thing to start with. What would you say?
Right. So if they're feeling stuck, I want you to rewrite your story. Take a pen, take your notebook. These are very practical things now. Whatever it is that you feel stuck about. So give me an example, Ejiro. Just come up with an example so I can rewrite it for you.
Let's say maybe I'm stuck with career decisions. Okay. So I don't know what choice to make. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to stay at my job because it's paying me fine. I'm stuck in the middle of making that choice. Which is the right way that I want to go? What is the first thing that I should do for me to, start paving my way towards the right path to take? That's just an example. But please leave your questions down.
So what the person, yes. So what the person needs there is clarity. So all you write your story. You say, I am clear. Don't say I am stuck. So you rewrite who you are. I am clear about who I am. And whatever career choice I make, I will progress. You leave it like that. Whatever it is that you feel negative about, like stuck is negative. When you feel stuck, it feels like you're hinged somewhere. You need to be released. So start telling yourself, I am clear. I am free. Use those words to yourself. One of the biggest changes that can happen for somebody who is feeling stuck is the words that you tell yourself. They are very important. There's nothing as important as the words that we speak to each other. I mean, when I say each other, I mean to ourselves, really. So you have to challenge your mind in that way. Don't just say it, write it down. Write it down. You say, I am clear about my career choice. The moment you say it, it's going to happen. And then practically, it's very simple. If that was the issue, you write the 2 career, whichever one, entrepreneur, write the other one, the pros and the cons, and weigh them. Where does my skill lie? Does it lie more here or does it lie more here? So there are practical ways of going about it. But You said I should say one thing that people can do if they are stuck. The first thing you want to do when you're stuck is the words that you say to yourself. The words, because you hear yourself. Even the words you don't say out, your inner self hears you. And because you hear yourself, you act according to what you think. So our thoughts, our mind has to be challenged. That's where any change starts from. It doesn't start from any other place than between our two ears. So first of all, we want to be writing down things and writing it down in our favor and favorably. Yeah. And then we'll start to losing the captivity of the mind. It's like when the mind is stuck, because or like a problem, I'm jobless. You're not jobless. I have a job. It's the first thing you tell yourself. I have a job. I do have a job. Then physically, of course, you start looking for a job, but keep telling yourself, I have a job. You will have a job. You will. Life is by faith. It's not by anything else. Life is just by, we don't see them. We don't see it, but we start to declare. We start to write those things. We start to say, this is where I'm going. Because what happens is, you see, we follow our words. Our action follows our words. When you say, I'm stuck, I'm stuck, I'm stuck, I'm stuck. I'm just here, I'm stuck. No, I'm not stuck. I'm free. And I behave free. We follow our words. It's not a spiritual thing. That's just what it is. We go by, we act according to our words are like they're waves and rhythms, and they kind of speak to us. So the way we think is important. The words we say to ourselves. When people say, "Oh, I'm foolish, I'm stupid," you're not foolish, you're not stupid. I made a mistake, but I'm not foolish, I'm not stupid. I'm not. I made a mistake. That's what it was.
It's neuroscience.
Yes, we have to
wire,
define and rewire, especially how we speak to ourselves is so important. So I would say for feeling stuck, that would be for me, the first thing is what you say to yourself. You begin to untangle yourself if you're feeling stuck by the words you say to yourself. Don't give up ever telling yourself very positive things. Imagine if you were telling a child on a daily basis, you're a good child, you're a winner, you're this, you're that, very positive things. You think that child will not become something good in the future? They will. They will. So our words are very powerful, and we have to start with ourselves to say, this is who we are. Declare who you are. Declare what you want. Declare. Just rewrite your situation. Just rewrite it. Don't worry about how it's going to happen. Forget about how it's going to happen. Don't worry about that. Just rewrite story. Start rewriting your story. I am this. I am that. I am this. I am that. That's it.
Start rewriting your story. And it starts with the words you tell yourself. Guys, are we getting this? This is the one take. Of course, she gave us a lot of bonus around it. I could see that she was really trying to keep herself to that one. But I also stole a lot of the other words that she just popped in. But everything dies down to what you say to yourself every single day.
Yeah.
And that is true. It works. And most of us might say, it's spiritual, they are quoting. No. It's more than that. It's neuroscience. Your mind doesn't actually know the difference. You tell your mind what you want it to believe. And as you say it, the mind believes what you say to it. So this is a powerful point. That is the first place to start. So if you're feeling stuck, Ebube has just driven us to the right junction. Okay, this is where to start. Words. Words are powerful. Words are powerful.
Can I share something here? Because I have this, this is a very old notebook. I think it's from 2023. And it was when I learned how to, I've learned it a long time ago, but I actually put it into practice. And anytime I write, I always put a date. So if I'm reading it like 15 years from now, I can remember when that thing happened. So I'm just writing down things here. And one of the things I wrote here, I said to myself, because I think at the time, this is how to come away from things that make you feel stuck or that bothers your mind.
Hmm.
You rewrite it
Hmm.
and start telling yourself that. So I was saying to myself, my daughter will pass her GCSE with distinction. I just kept on writing it.
Yeah.
I wrote that and wrote the other one will pass her 11 plus exams because 11 plus is what gets you into secondary school. And I wrote it in flying colors and I wrote other things as well and rewrite them. And those things happened. The older one is in uni now. The second one is in secondary school now and all of that. So it's very, very important that we come to a place where we rewrite it.
Hmm.
First of all, you will notice that when you rewrite whatever it is that's bothering you, you feel relief mentally. You feel relief because now you're telling yourself something different, something more positive,
Hmm.
and you react mentally to that positivity. That's why you have to rewrite it until that thing comes to pass.
Hmm. Wow. Very true. As Christians, I know if you're a Christian here, we know this popular verse in the Bible. Most of us don't know the exact verse, but we all quote it. Write your vision, make it plain. That is the truth of life.
Yes.
You have to state it, write it down. You know, I used to be one of those, really, Ebube, let me share this with you. I used to be one of those who think when people talk about, write your vision board for the year and put it somewhere you can see it daily. I'm like, don't worry, I have it all in my head. I know what I want to do. Let me just keep doing it. But no,
Yeah.
it really makes a difference when you write it down.
Down. Yes.
So, guys, it's about the writing. We saw Ebube's story now that she shared her testimony. I would say it's a testimony because they already happened. She wrote them down and it came to pass. Let me use the King James Version. It came to pass. But guys, this is the truth. Write it down. Say those positive words, those things that you see, that person you see yourself becoming. Write that person down and you will see that you will become that person that you've written down. Wow.
Exactly.
Wow. This is powerful, guys. I know that we've taken a lot of your time, but this is really interesting and, information packed and wisdom full, I will say. So, but as we come to the end of tonight's conversation, I hope that one thing becomes clear to every woman that is watching this. Your life is not fixed. No matter where you are right now, your future can begin to change the moment your choices begin to change. So don't be afraid and say, I know I'm stuck. I don't think it can get better. It can. It can. From this moment, from the moment you decide that, okay, I want to begin to make different choices. But know this, it's not going to happen overnight. And it's not a perfect journey, but it is intentional. It has to happen intentionally. Yes. Because sometimes transformations begin with one huge decision. And what is that starting point that we've got today? Words. We can start with that. Deciding today that today I'll begin to speak positivity into my life. I'll begin to speak positivity into my children, into my home, into my marriage, into, whatever thing that you want to work on. Decide today that you want to begin to speak positive into that. Because sometimes it actually begins with these boundaries that we set for ourselves. Choosing discipline, walking away from our old self, speaking differently, deciding that we deserve more. You have to make that decision that you deserve more and think. Because tonight reminded us of who we are becoming. It's a daily process. You have to do it every single day. You have to get up and practice to become her. Ebube, exactly. I really want to thank you so, so much for sharing from your heart, because I see that you really poured out your heart, your wisdom, and your honesty with us tonight. Thank you so much. We truly appreciate you.
You're so welcome. It's a privilege to be here.
Oh, thank you.